We'll skip the countdown this week. We fancy countdown because Barry's been late.
It's
only 1 minute late.
Is that part of the show, the countdown, or is that pre-show countdown?
It's a highlight of the show, the countdown, I think.
Is it on the show though? Is it?
Yeah, it should be like visible for like people to see, yeah, the viewers. Hello AJ, it's week 13. Got the red wine going.
Nice.
Water.
What you on, Baz?
Just the juice for me today. Just keeping it. I've got the Christmas due tomorrow, so I'm saving myself to go excess tomorrow.
Is it free booze?
Free booze.
So I'm taking it then. They must be paying you to stay off on Friday, are they?
No. The office is open on Friday. It's a sort of hardcore test, I think. If you can stay the course and then get yourself into work the next day and veg out at your desk. Obviously, we'll be working very, very hard.
So what's your plan? To stay at home, ringing sick?
No, I'll be. Me and Brandy, I'm the machine. I can get up and do it. Power through.
Something like that, eh?
Yeah, and then be in bed by 5 o'clock probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Have you got somewhere booked, like, or are you just going down the town, or what?
No, we'll go for a meal, and I think there's like 20 odd people and a couple of directors over from Germany. So we'll go for a meal, a few beverages, and just sort of take from there. We've got a hotel, so I don't stay over, but most of the people stay over a little bit further away and what have you. Be a good do. Yeah, good do.
But one thing about you, Baz, once you're out, you don't go back in, do you?
No.
Taxi's booked for the HR informed me that taxi is booked for 11:15 when the bar closes. So we'll see how that works.
As you know, boys, I'm 9 defeats in a row. I'm on now.
Yeah, another week keeps ticking along.
And I'm still showing up this fucking show. Do you know what I mean? That shows how committed I am.
You've got a nice. I've noticed you've got a nice trim there, haven't you? Look like a sort of.
Yeah, thank you.
Swifty around the sides.
Yeah, beard and hair trim. I'll just take. There you go.
Yeah.
I was just saying to Blandy I'm away next week, so just had to get a fresh cut.
All right. So it's not a Christmas cut. This is a I'm going away cut, is it?
This is a I'm going away cut. Yeah, it's a bit early for Christmas cut. I think the lads are pretty quiet now. Until like the next few weeks.
I was telling you, keep growing it. Get a big booth on going. Obviously, just like everybody else in the show, disregard my advice and plough your own furrow.
Yeah, but the only thing is, because my head's that big, if I have a big hair as well, it just looks even bigger, doesn't it? Kev Wake, yeah, you can see you're ringing in sick. Chances of someone from work seeing this is slim.
Exactly. Very, very slim, I would say. But you never know. You might get investigating and watch it back. And what was he doing? And so you got to
you never know. Line. You never know who's watching, mate.
So a lot of changes going on this week as well. Where Blandito is joining us from a different continent.
Yeah, we're down here in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Bit warmer than back home, so hence why I've got a vest on. You've got a hoodie on.
Yeah, I was going to say -6 overnight last night here, I think, Blandy, and Chris Frost, and there's you and your wife beater.
Yeah,
your wife beater.
It's about 26 over here at the minute. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, nice.
TY, thanks for joining us again, TY. Hasn't gone unnoticed that you're here every week, TY.
Yeah, big fan of the show. Well done, mate.
You could find yourself back. You could find yourself back in that WhatsApp group next year, mate. Paul or no Paul. How shit is Onana? I presume that's the Manchester United keeper, is it?
Yeah, you wouldn't be picking him in a fantasy Premier League or fantasy Champions League show, would you? You won't be tipping him up.
No. Hey, how bad was that penalty yesterday? Fucking Newcastle.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
Never in a month for Sundays, was it?
I thought you were going to mention the Barnsley goal that we were laughing about, where he ran into sort of bumped the keeper, and the keeper sort of, I don't know what he did, fell over and fumbled it and scored in the 92nd minute.
Yeah, he like got knocked into, fell over, did like weak, didn't he? And then just.
I think he was, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think he wanted to sort of pretend that he'd been fouled to try and waste some time, and then sort of lost the ball.
Paul Oakes turned up. Look, after beating me last week. Nice to see you back, Paul.
Straight on. Give him a bit of grief. Yeah, 19 losses in a row. What he's up to now? Another week, another loss. Although I have to be a little bit careful because I'm playing you in the last week, I think, Anthony, and obviously you'll have nothing to play for because you've on that streak. But I probably will have something to play for, and no doubt you'll break your streak completely.
Yeah, hopefully. So one question I got in the WhatsApp group, and I think AJ's touched on it here. Talk about Cooper Kupp, lads. Is he even playable in the flex spot against Cleveland? So we also got this off Maverick in the WhatsApp group. So it cost Maverick the win last week.
Well, I think we've had a little bit of discussion. There's sort of two angles here, isn't there? We were talking about Cooper Kupp in terms of fantasy and DFS, and just betting on him. You're betting on his fitness, and you just don't know where you're at with his fitness because he seems to be on that medical blue tent or getting physio or stretched out all the time. But I think Blandy's got a bit of a insight and a few injuries to the Browns that doesn't make them the formidable force they have been of late. Is that where we're at with the Browns this week, Blandy against the Rams?
Yeah, so last week Denzel Ward didn't play. I don't know if he's going to be back this week. He's their number one corner, but also Myles Garrett as well. He came out of that game last week because he felt something pop in his shoulder. I noticed he hasn't practiced today. So if those two are missing, then they're not going to be as formidable as what they usually are. But still, the teams have run on the Browns basically because they don't want to pass on them because they're so good. And the Rams have gone ridiculously run heavy quite recently, even before Kieran Williams came back. Obviously, Kieran came back last week and absolutely went ballistic. So I don't think that the Rams are going to suddenly change their ways and go pass heavy again against this team. Personally, myself, I'm starting a few other receivers over Cooper Kupp this week in a particular league that I've got him in. I'm starting Tank Dell, Devonta Smith, Keenan Allen, all over Cooper Kupp this week. So just
I guess
bit of perspective.
AJ, if you could help us out with a bit more context on the question. So who else could you play in the flex? And that'll help us come up with an ultimate decision, I guess.
Yeah, because like anything, it's always determined on who else you've got. If you're trying to find off the waiver wire who's betting Cooper Kupp, you're going to just play him and cross your fingers, aren't you? So is some of your ranking him down on the other receivers, Blandy, based on fitness rather than opposition? Then is that where we're at with Cooper Kupp? Do we think is that what his performance last week was fitness related?
It was, but also they just weren't needed last week, were they?
But get it done.
Yeah, Cardinals didn't push back on the Rams running all over them. You could say the same might happen this week as well. Although I don't expect the Rams to put up as many points on this Browns team as what they did on the Cardinals last week. Nowhere close to it. But on the other side, it looks like it's probably going to be Joe Flacco starting this week for the Browns against the Rams.
Joe Flacco, where have they dug him up from?
Yeah, so he's on. So DTR's in the concussion protocol, so probably isn't going to play. He missed practice today, so he's almost certainly out. And then that means
PJ Walker,
Joe Flacco. Well, no, you can't play PJ Walker, can you? And it's been
Tim Boyle's getting the game these days.
Yeah. The Browns want to be semi-serious organisation. today Joe Flacco took the starter reps in practice, so it will be
Wow.
Joe Flacco and not PJ Walker. For
Are
what
we a
it's worth.
couple of years since Flacco's last game?
No, he played last
Oh,
year.
was he last year for the?
He played last year for the Jets. Yeah.
Did they sort of move away from him quite quickly though? Didn't just sort of give. Did he play particularly poorly, or I'm trying to rack my brains to what scenario
Yeah,
was
he's not very,
Flacco?
he's not very good. He always looks like he's trying to throw a pick six on purpose, but that's just because his arm is not what it was. But in his head, he still thinks his arm is what it was.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a turn up for the Bucks. Flacco rolling out. We discussed dusty old quarterbacks a few times and for needy teams, haven't we? And he sort of gets mentioned and as if he's done, but here he is.
Yeah. He'll be the starter this week almost certainly.
So AJ's options are Deontay Johnson, obviously Cooper Kupp, Carbonnet, Spears, and Rice.
I mean, Charbonnet is playable given he's getting a lot of more touches these days, isn't he? So he's an option. I'm not sure what Ken Walker's fitness is like.
He's out. Well, he's been listed as doubtful.
Yeah, I thought the injury last week was more than a 1 weeker. So if he doesn't play, I think that makes Charbonnet playable, doesn't it? I'm not saying he's going to be a 25-pointer, but it makes him playable.
No, you'd hope he'd get you 10 points because they're playing Dallas this week in Dallas, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I mean, you can't play Spears.
No.
Can't play Spears.
Is our mate Deontay Johnson?
I presume so. Yeah.
It will be. Yeah. I mean, the Cardinals, so that's a good spot.
Yeah. He's still a divisive figure amongst us, isn't he, old Deontay? Did you see the video of him on the interception where he just sort of stumbled to the line, got pushed off, turned his back, the ball was loose, and they ran down and scored?
It was a fumble, wasn't it? He didn't see the fumble.
But he wasn't targeted on a play. He knew it. He was putting absolute minimal effort, below minimal. I mean, I'm surprised the Steelers let him get away with that in that sort of locker room.
Well, that was the immediate play after his touchdown
got chalked off.
Chalked off. Yeah. So he was sulking, I would imagine, and he's just fucked it off, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I say
Dummy's gone.
Yeah.
He's not for me, Deontay.
This is a good. This is a good matchup against the Cardinals this week for him.
But ultimately, yes, yeah. You've got to just look at you've got to take some of the whatever feelings or playing style or whatever, and just say he gets targets, he gets catches.
I know, but look, it's hard to touch. It's hard to trust him after them last few games, isn't it? I mean, you're talking about playing him over Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to swallow, that, isn't it, Hans?
You can't play him over Cooper Kupp, surely, for Christ.
No, I think I'm rolling the dice on the fitness of Kupp. But
yeah, I'd play Kupp over him. Yeah.
So Deontay Johnson's out. Rice, I wouldn't play him over Kupp either because it's just
no. And Spears, unless Henry's down, you can't play Spears. So
no.
So of the four listed, Charbonnet is potentially an option ahead of him. Potentially.
So would you be concerned about Charbs playing Dallas?
Yes, I'm playing him and I'm concerned.
As AJ's rightly highlighted there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, sometimes it can work. And they're a hard team to work out, the Seahawks, aren't they? They can be a little bit spiky and a little bit prickly against spots when they think they're going to get rolled over, and then they have easy games they should win, and they seem to make a very hard work of it. So fundamentally, they're going to run the ball a lot because that's what they like doing. So he will get some touches. You just got to be hopeful rather than confident, I guess.
Yeah.
And you're probably not too dissimilar with Kupp. Obviously, Kupp's ceiling's higher, and he's got that potential to peel off big runs and big touchdowns. But ultimately they might get it done in a different way and not need to use him too much, so you might not get the volume of touches that you want.
You're not getting excited after Rice's last game? I know you're not. I know you're not going to be Baz, because there's the thing is with the Chiefs. There's always that thought in the back of your head where the wide receivers are just up and down, up and down. He uses
it's a merry-go-round, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's going around this week?
Yeah. So last week, I think he played 66% of the snaps, which was the most snaps he's played in a game.
Okay.
But even then, that's not full-time starter snaps, and that was without Mecole Hardman and Kadarius Toney. Tony's going to be back this week. He's practiced in full today, so that's just one extra guy back into the wide receiver rotation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
It's just difficult to trust for me.
Yeah. I mean, he should be a full-time player, and they should be absolutely peppering him with targets, shouldn't they, to develop him?
I was going to say, if it was just purely on talent, you'd be saying he's the man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Any interjections from the crowd here, Ant, to put forward?
No. So, long story short, we're going to play Cup.
Yeah.
You're a brave man not playing Cup. I think you just have to play.
You've got to roll the dice.
You've got to take your medicine. You've got to take your medicine and just play him.
Yeah. Just don't bet on him and don't play him in DFS.
Yeah. Question from Kev.
Cool.
Question from Kev Wake. Thank you for the question, Kev, as always. Has Blandy come as Tank Top Dell or Nick Westbrook-Akine?
Prefer Tank Top Dell.
I've gone the other way. I think Nick Westbrook-Akine that's the one for me.
I'd have took DD Westbrook.
DD Westbrook. That's a better one, isn't it? DD Westbrook. DD Westbrook. Yeah, I like that one. AJ, thanks, gents. Not the answer I wanted, but probably the right one. I think AJ wanted to trade Cooper Kupp probably a month, maybe 6 weeks ago, and I told him not to. And I think that's still a little bit of a bitter taste in his mouth.
It depends what he was trading him for. He's trading for Justin Jefferson, then call it a draw.
Yeah. What is any word on Jefferson? Likely return, unlikely return, given how bad the Vikings are?
He's been reactivated yesterday, so he will play when they come out of the bye week.
Oh, interesting. Bit of time to get some connection with the Pastronaut, Dobbsy.
Not sure he'll be the quarterback coming out the bye.
Really?
Yeah. After his meltdown the other day, Kevin O'Connell said that they will assess all options at the quarterback position moving forward. So,
that's not a good line, is it? That's not a good line if you want Dobbs to start.
No, he needs. I mean, Dobbs needs another trade, doesn't he? He has 3 good games when he first goes to a team, and then after that, his true colours come out. So he needs a trade now.
Is he just better off the cuff? Is it better? I don't know the playbook. I don't even attempt it. I'll just play freestyle and just see how it goes. Is that his mojo?
Yeah, and I think it obviously it gives other teams don't have a lot of tape to go on him playing in that particular new offense.
Yeah. Element of surprise.
Yeah, I think that's it. He started hot with the Cardinals. Came in last year, I think, when he made a start for the Titans and played really well. For the first couple of games, did it with the Cardinals, done it with the Vikings. So, yeah, he needs a trade somewhere else.
While we're waiting for some more questions, I forgot to mention. I did pull his picture up as well. Kyron Williams. So we had there's obviously concerns about the Browns defense for the in terms of wide receivers. What's the ranking on the wide receivers?
They're very good against them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But especially for a casual player like me, I think, you hear all this thing about Browns defense and you think, oh, brilliant, then like fantastic, I'll play them. Or even if you have like a running back against the Browns, you might be worrying. Whereas I think you're going to explain, Blandy, that sometimes you have to look a bit closer and you might not worry about running backs. Certainly this week.
Yeah, so in the last 6 weeks, that overall for the whole of the season, the Browns have been top 12 unit against running backs in success rate and EPA. But those season haul numbers are propped up by the early season success they were having, because in the last 6 weeks they only ranked 22nd against running against opposing oppositions running games. The Rams overall for this year were a top 3 unit running the ball, and in the last 6 weeks they were a top 5 unit running the ball, and obviously Kyron's only been back the 1 week, so that was with Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson. So I don't think that there's going to be a great deal of resistance to the Rams running game against the Browns. Home game as well, where the Rams are favourites. Since Stafford got injured, the Rams have gone ridiculously run heavy as well. They're 20th in pass rate over expectation for the year, and in the last 5 or 6 weeks, they are 29th in passing on first downs as well. So they've gone really, 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 really run heavy.
Which makes sense because there's a logic to that, isn't there? With Stafford injured, Kupp's injured, how can we best get it done? And they're saying, well, we've got to move away from what we thought was our strength in terms of Stafford and the wide receivers to let's really focus on the run. And I say they've got it done to some degree, haven't they, in certain games? So you can kind of see the logic behind that.
Right, hold this thought, boys, because I'm going to ask a question from Dynamic Jarvis. Dynamic Jarvis, thank you for the question. If you haven't,
great name.
I like the name as well, to be fair. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, mate. We'd much appreciate it. Which defense? We don't often get defense questions on, so which defense should I pick this week? Atlanta Falcons, fuck the Falcons. Buccaneers, Chargers, the Colts. He's leaning towards the Colts because they've had 3 good weeks.
And they're up against Will Levis, aren't they, this week?
The Titans,
They are.
So you've got the Colts versus the Titans. You've got Chargers versus the Patriots. You've got the Bucs versus the Panthers. And the Falcons versus, obviously, the Bucs.
The Jets. Falcons against the Jets.
Oh, what am I reading there? Oh, I'm reading week 14, so the Jets, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a little bit of discussion, didn't we, about our own defenses, and we obviously a lot of these are on waiver wires, so we were looking at the same sort of teams. And I think I sort of had a bit of a look at the Bucs and thought this could be a good little good week to play them. Carolina, obviously Bryce Young's not doing particularly well. Potential bit of disarray, all that changing coach and stuff. You're not expecting them to be absolutely flying and with lots of players in the bag. So this could be a good spot for the Bucs. And again, I think they've been a little bit up and down. They're ranked 17th over there. But I think you've probably had some good games and bad games out the season. This looks like a good spot for them, I think.
Yeah, they're an okay matchup, I think, this week. Purely because this Panthers offense is so bad.
Yeah.
My issue with the Bucs is they don't get a great deal of pressure against opposing quarterbacks, which is generally what you want. You want the opposing quarterbacks dropping back plenty of times, so you can get pressure on them, which force sacks, fumbles, interceptions, etc. So I think just purely playing against a bad offense that aren't going to put up a great deal of points, then yeah, they're a pretty decent floor play. You should have no problem getting 7 or 8 points out of them.
And again, when you look at defenses, Blandy, obviously you're looking for that pressure in terms of putting the pressure, forcing a mistake, but also just pick up the points for sacks and fumbles, etc. And obviously fumble recoveries, get good points. Not necessarily just looking for against a team who's not going to score many points. There's other ways for defenses to earn points, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You want sacks is the main thing, isn't it?
You want a fucking pick six. That's what you want. You want a pick six.
Well, yeah, but, they're very
like
unpredictable, aren't they?
Yeah,
very unpredictable.
They're hard to call.
Yeah, I like his shout of the Colts. So they're playing the Titans. So the Colts are actually the Colts are 7th in pass rush win rate. The Titans are 14th, so middle of the pack. But the Titans allow pressure at the 31st rate in the league, so they're not very good at stopping pressure that opposing defenses bring. And the Colts are 18th in pressure rate, so the Colts should be able to win and get pressure on Will Levis. And Levis does take sacks because his processing is not the best. So if the Colts can get out to a lead here, which I don't know if they can, but if they can, and they put the Titans in obvious passing down situations, then yeah, they could have a lot of success against the Titans.
Divisional game, is this the first time they've played each other this season, or have they played each other before? Can you just go through those numbers? Because normally second time round divisional games gives you a little bit more. Defense is a bit more prepared, aren't they?
Yeah,
adjustments are made already.
Yeah, they have played each other before earlier on this year. My one worry is that the Colts defense is not very good against the run, and obviously the way the Titans want to play the game is relying on Derrick Henry. If they can keep it close, the Titans, then they will run Henry as much as they can. That's why you need the Colts to be putting up points to force them into obvious passing situations.
They're going to do two things, aren't they? They're going to look for the run and pound Henry, and then they're going to look for the deep shot, aren't they? Just Levis to sort of drop back and sling one deep on a relatively frequent basis. And you're kind of saying he's not got a high level accuracy doing that because he's obviously a rookie and he's finding his way. They're their opportunities for a pick, aren't they? And it's more likely to happen if he's forcing the game.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to like there with the Colts, and I think we've talked ourselves into that one, Blondie.
Yeah. So in summary, you're probably inching towards the Colts. I think from listening to you two there.
Yeah, I don't really want anything to do with the Chargers. They could be playing the Darlington Steamers. I wouldn't pick the Chargers defense.
Even against the Patriots, they're they don't grade particularly well.
No, and the Falcons. What's our opinion on the Falcons?
I wouldn't touch fucking offense, defense, special teams. None of them. Fuck them all.
Well, they're playing against Tim Boyle, aren't they? So, he's got to make mistakes.
Don't give a shit. Don't touch the Falcons. Whatever you do.
Who's the safety they've got, Blandy, who they've got from the Bengals? I can't think of his name. It's just gone off. Who's been playing very well for the
Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates, yeah. Did he have a pick six or a pick at a decent charge downfield last week? He's playing at a very, very high level, isn't he, for the Falcons D?
Yeah. He had a pick six against Derek Carr last week. I don't think Carr stared down his receiver long enough. It was only a good, 5 seconds, I think, where he just completely stared down the receiver. And, he stared him down that long. He didn't see Jesse Bates stood next to him and just jumped in front of the route and away he went.
Yeah.
So you can't go too far wrong, can you, with the Colts or the Bucks? I'm not listening no more about the Falcons. Fuck the Falcons. AJ, McBride or Pat Freiermuth this week? They're obviously facing each other.
This is a good question because I think we've touched on Freemos a few weeks back to say, yeah, and then all of a sudden, not very relevant. He hasn't been fit. He's not getting a lot of targets. And all of a sudden, wow, what was it, 12 targets this week, Blandy? Something ridiculous like that. I don't know if that, again, is that Pickett's easy throw? He's back to fitness. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I seen the numbers and I was sort of staggered.
There weren't easy throws. He led the whole league. He led the whole league last week in receiving yards. No player in the league had more receiving yards than him last week. No, I mean, and a couple of them were 20 plus yard down the seams. So the last game before the Steelers hired Matt Canada, they went over 400 yards of offense. Then they had 2.5 years of Matt Canada and never had a 400-yard game. And then they sacked Matt Canada and they had over 400 yards of offense again. They mentioned there was an article in The Athletic, I think it was, after the game, and basically said they identified that the Bengals have been terrible against tight ends this year, but they identified a weakness in their game against tight ends. If they're going to play two high safeties, then they're just going to use Freiermuth down the seam over the middle of the field, which is exactly what they did. And the Bengals never adjusted, and they just kept doing the same thing over and over again, basically.
And it was
this.
I just pulled his number up. 11 targets, 9 receptions, 120 yards. I mean, didn't get a touchdown, but obviously still scored a massive week. You would be somewhat skeptical of is this his spike? Is this a one-off? Is he going to maintain that? Again, we love the phrase unsustainable. I don't think them targets and receptions are sustainable. It's more about what's the quarterback play, what's the Steelers, who's the opposition. Like I say, the Bengals, poor opposition without Joe Burrow playing. It was a particularly poor game. They found a way to get down the field and just absolutely railroad it, like a lot of teams do once they find something that works and the opposition don't stop it or just keep going.
Yep.
So I'd be skeptical of Freiermuth moving forward, but yeah, if you've got him and you managed to play him last week, well done. If you've got him and you didn't play him, you're thinking, should I touch him in? I think, if you've got those options, it's not a given for me. I still like
going for McBride.
Just keep an eye on McBride though, because he didn't practice today with a groin injury. But it's Wednesday, and I don't pay any particular attention to Wednesday injury reports. Yeah, but this is the first time he has appeared in this season on the injury report. So just keep an eye on it.
So AJ, keep an eye on that then. Question from Bart. First time viewer, can I ask a question? Of course you can, Bart. Not a question.
Questions are welcome.
That's Sheriff Bart from Blazing Saddles, is it not?
I don't know. I'm not that old. Anyway, question from Bryce Ridley. Bryce, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Be much appreciated. Fellas, do you think Carr Bonnet is a play over Brian Robinson this week?
I'm not sure you can get away with calling him Carr Bonnet when it should be Charbonnet as you hold your wine glass there on that. If you had overalls and a spanner on, I'd let you away with that one. Charbonnet.
2018. Good year.
Tricky one, this one. I think Brian Robinson would be my initial lean. Like we're saying, we've got Charbonnet getting the lead work with Ken Walker out. So there's plus side there. Downside is Cowboys away. Downside is Seahawks are very unpredictable. Did Brian Robinson have a bad week last week? What was his stats? Can you read his stat line there for us, Lance?
Sorry, I'm just getting questions from the WhatsApp group as well. 2 seconds. What were you after?
Just what was Robinson's stat line last week?
So
how many
53 yards. 15
attempts. Didn't play a lot.
45% of the snaps.
Gibson back in a bit more Blandy last week.
Yeah, because they were behind. It was a negative game script, so Robinson gets phased out in negative game scripts. The Commanders are 9.5-point underdogs to the Dolphins this week. So I would say that Robinson is likely to get phased out this week as well. So just on a pure volume play, I would play Charbonnet over Brian Robinson.
But it's probably quite close, isn't it? It's quite a close decision, I'd imagine.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Because
Again,
if Robinson's probably more likely to fall in the end zone than Charbonnet, I would say. But
he could be limited through his touches through the game script.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So a tentative vote for Charbonnet.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do
sir.
you own Brian
Tentative.
Robson? Do you own Brian Robson in any of your leagues? I'm sure I've heard you.
I
talk about it.
had Brian Robinson in his rookie year. So was it last year? His rookie year.
Right. Yeah.
I normally have him in the rookie year where they do shite and then they come on the year after.
The blossom when you let go of him. Yeah. Watch out for a lad called Bijan Robinson next year, right?
Exactly that, mate. Yeah. Thing about Brian Robinson, he's an absolute little tank, isn't he? Well, 6'1", and he's built like a brick shit house. Again, he's the most likely to fall in. He's the most likely to fall in, isn't he? Let's stick with Bryce again. Bryce, if you haven't subscribed, you better fucking subscribe. Bryce, 2 questions now, you've had. You better subscribe, like, and share. Phelan versus Deontay. Now you've got to bear this in mind, right? Mr. Bland in the vest there, in the blue vest. He hates Adam Phelan, and he loves Deontay Johnson. so bear that in mind when he answers this question.
Adam Thielen had that sort of renaissance spell, hadn't he, where he was getting all of those targets and he was getting, not many yards, but lots of catches, and that ran for quite a few weeks. However, he had a down week last week. He was Frank Reich's favorite receiver. Lots of chatter I heard about Frank Reich designing plays that only Adam Thielen could run, and if he wasn't on the pitch, he couldn't run the play. So you knew he was getting a lot of that. The coaches have changed. He's had a down week. Is that not necessarily the end of Thielen, but are those days behind him somewhat, that where he was getting those close to double-digit targets and catches week in, week out?
I can't objectively answer this question, can I?
Yeah, you can. Go on. You like Deontay for a reason, don't you? And you don't like Adam Phelan for a reason.
Yeah.
We did have a bit of a discussion. It says, again, Adam Thielen is a good, safe pair of hands. Get it near him, he doesn't drop the ball. The same can't quite be said for Deontay Johnson. You could hit him in the chest and he might not catch it.
I think the thing with Adam Phelan is, like, we've been playing fantasy for 8 years or something, and we've all probably had him over the years. And when we have him, he's just that you can put him in your team, and he's going to be all right. And I know he's getting on now, and obviously he's got the Panthers, but you kind of get attached to that player, and you think, well, he's never let me down before. He's always done all right, but Mr. Bland doesn't feel the same way.
No, I'm gonna go for Deontay Johnson this week. I'm gonna say he's got a better matchup. He's gonna get more of a share of the ball, and I'm gonna go with Deontay to outscore Adam Thielen this week. I'm not convinced, or I'm apprehensive about everything that's going on in Carolina. Does that lead to good, consistent, solid, reliable play from some of their players? For me, the answer is too much unknowns.
Do you think there's anything in it where Deontay Johnson's got a bit of stick on Twitter this week, and obviously because of his attitude problems probably last week, and he's got a bit of grief from the media and on Twitter and stuff like that? Do you think it's one of them weeks where he comes out kind of like fuck you week, like
puff your chest out, show what you got?
Definitely could do. I might.
Who else? Okay, let's.
I might actually.
Well, he's going to go. Hang on, he's going to go for Adam Phelan here.
This is mental. Here's a question for you then, Blandy. If we break it down, who else are they going to throw the ball to? Who are they going to throw it to? Freiermuth and Pickens at a rate of knots that freezes Johnson out?
No, they've just gone since the bye week, basically, the Steelers have gone very run heavy because they've been very successful. Like, give Najee plenty of shit, but like in a split role, Najee's actually running really well this year compared to what Najee's ran. Jalen Warren's still lapping him.
He beat him last week,
Najee's
didn't he?
actually-
Harris had the better game last
Yeah.
week, didn't he, on a stat line?
Yeah, he
First
did,
one for a
yeah.
while, but he did. You've got to recognise that, haven't we?
Yeah, he did. He had a couple of good runs, and again, this Steelers team that wants to run the ball is playing against the Cardinals team that the Rams. We're just seeing the Rams run all over and not have to utilize their wide receivers. So going the other way, we've got the Panthers who can't run the ball against the Buccaneers offense that are pretty good at stopping the run. I think they're overrated, but they're certainly a lot better at stopping the run than what the Panthers are actually running the ball. And Thielen plays almost all in the slot. And the Bucs give up the second most fantasy points to slot wide receivers. So I think he might scam his way to 6 for 60 yards or something like that. And
so Blandy's going Thielen, and I'm going to go Deontay Johnson on. So Blandy's going Thielen on matchup and stats. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson on bounce back, show your balls, blow man, and have a good game.
Yeah.
Where are you going as the decider then, Anth?
I'm going to Deontay Johnson as well. I think the same. I think he might come back firing this week. Just because he's got so much stick, and he's obviously got talent. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's what Baz is saying. Like, he hasn't got. I don't mind Pickens, but he should be the main man, shouldn't he? So
that's one for the notebook. Let's see who comes out on top of that particular decision.
So Bryce, we're going Deontay. Don't worry about him in the vest. Fucking knows shite all.
Hobo, don't worry about him.
Dynamic Jarvis, do I start Devon A-Chain if he plays?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Mostert still a bit of a question mark?
Matt Canada, by the way.
Matt Canada was the Steelers OC that got fired.
He's one I said who held him back to under 400 yards every game for 2.5 years, and the first game after him, he's
that's it. Yeah.
Even Scott Hansen was on that one, wasn't he, Blandy, last week, I think?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that in the group, yeah.
The average 4.9 yards a play under Matt Canada, and then the first game without him, 6.2 yards a play.
There you go.
Dynamic Jarvis said, A-Chain if he plays, yes. Kev Wake, what do you think of the sheep rodeo in Denver? Blandy looks like he could organise a sheep rodeo.
If Blandy could organise a sheep rodeo, put my name down. It was absolutely tremendous. Helmets on, like a GoPro. I don't know if they were quite strapped in, but they were like hanging off a deal like these sort of kids, 7, 8-year-old or whatever they were, and off the sheep went, and it was absolutely hilarious. I showed it to my kids, and they were like, "Can we have a go at that? Can we have a go at that?" I was like,
"There's plenty of sheep up here. There's plenty of sheep up here. To be fair,
And then I said, when the Sky games came out, I said, Denver's on Sky 6 o'clock this week, and they were like, will the sheep rodeo be on? I was like, I don't think so.
Just a one-off.
Yeah. I don't think they have sheep rodeos in Texas.
If we can get a fantasy front office sponsored sheep rodeo session on the go, we shall do it. But if we want to go back to the serious stuff, do you want to talk a little bit about the Dolphins' backfield and that dynamic? Obviously, it's a dynamic.
Just 2 seconds. Let me just finish off on Kyren Williams. So against the Browns. So we got like sidetracked by questions. So we were saying that the Browns' run defense, although good at the start of the season, is kind of tailed off through injuries or whatever else. Yeah. And now they're like the bottom 12 against the run. Mm-hmm. And they're coming up against Kyren Williams this weekend. Now, the question I was going to ask you is, And bear in mind, I don't play best ball, and I don't play any of the other stuff that you play. I think if you've got Kieran Williams, you're playing him anyway. But in terms of, so get your best ball hats on. Is Kieran Williams a player in best ball this weekend? I don't know. Will he be cheap? Will he be cheap? He won't be cheap, I guess. But will he be cheaper because he's playing the Browns?
No, you're thinking of DFS.
DFS.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking of is the DraftKings.
The weekly DraftKings where you pick,
yeah,
where you pick your team based on that week. You're saying you think, is Kieran Williams a player you want to be locking in, or is he going to be too priced up because of the matchup?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
His price has riven on. His price after his performance last week on DraftKings has shot back up again. So I want to say it's about $7,600 now after being $6,600 last week. So he's an extra $1,000 more expensive this week than last week. So.
But ultimately, he's got a chance of being a top 5 running back, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's in play. He'd definitely be in play in DFS.
He's not under the radar or particularly well priced. He's just if you're paying for a stud, you want a stud's performance, but he could give you that.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could.
Baz, what were you saying about Dolphins?
Yeah, I just want to have a bit of chat about the Dolphins' backfield and say how. We were speaking last week on the show that I think I sort of mentioned that Jeff Wilson was coming back to fitness and the other guys were injured. I think I'd looked to pick up Sullivan Ahmed because he's got a touchdown, but he'd ended up on AR. We knew that it was a Friday game. We knew that Achane wasn't making it. So we were saying that Jeff Wilson was a good player, and that turned out pretty well because he got sort of that second string running back. He got a few sort of passes out the backfield and had a reasonably good game. It's all pretty much dependent on who's fit and who's not fit, I think, this backfield. And most seems to be struggling still with a variety of injuries. Jeff Wilson's probably the fittest, but probably the third in line. If the other two aren't keeping on injury reports, if they're not trending the right way, Jeff Wilson's probably still a player. But if Achane is fit, I think, which was the question, if you get to that full practice in, you want to be firing him up, I would think.
Yeah, Achane, I think you play him no matter what.
Two seconds, bear with.
Yeah, Jeff, so just touch on your point there last week, Baz. Jeff Wilson played 33% of the snaps last week.
So as low as that?
Yeah, Mostert played 59%.
I watched a good chunk of that game, and it felt more towards 50-50. But obviously, the Dolphins did end up sort of boat racing a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, and Darren Nevins played 7% as well. He came on at the end when it was kind of all over.
Question, boys. I'm going to interrupt. A question from Alec.
Go on, then.
Alec, you haven't subscribed yet. Please subscribe. I much appreciate it. I'm a big fan of your PFP there of The Mandalorian. Hey, fellas, should I start Pat Freiermuth or Njoku and Ingram? I've got a little soft spot for Njoku at the minute.
We've been talking about the last few weeks. I think every week saying he's starting to play like the player that we knew he was, that powerful runner. But are we handicapped by what we're saying about Joe? Can I just repeat this? Joe Flacco's playing for the Browns. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. Joe Flacco plays, which is a negative for Njoku.
Yeah.
Purely,
just a negative for all of.
Yeah.
Just a negative for anyone can catch the ball in the Browns is a negative.
It's a negative for the state of Cleveland, I think.
So, what was so good about Njoku's role was DTR couldn't throw the ball downfield. So all they did was just throw screen passes over and over again to David Njoku, who racked up 30%, 38%, and 24% of team target shares. in the last 3 games. So with Joe Flacco in, it's more likely that they're going to go back to a bit more of a normal offense rather than just running tight end screens all the time. So his target share is going to reduce. So that would be a negative for him. On the other side, the question was Freiermuth or Ingram. Yeah. So Pat Freiermuth had his blow-up game last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and this week the Jacksonville Jaguars play the Cincinnati Bengals. So I would play Ingram over all 3 of them, and just go back to the beating up on the Cincinnati Bengals defense again with your tight end. The Bengals are 3rd in fantasy points allowed to tight ends.
I think Ingram's definitely the player.
Yeah, one thing I found interesting last week while watching the Jaguars game, the commentators on the game made a comment. So the commentators going into the games, they speak with the teams beforehand and to get an idea of what game plans is, etc., etc. And then as the game goes on, they kind of like let out little bits of nuggets as to what they've found from teams, etc. And the Jaguars are well aware that Evan Ingram hasn't scored a touchdown this year. And when they got into the red zone, they drew up that play for Evan Ingram, and it was where Lawrence didn't set his feet and overthrew him, where Ingram was wide open. So they are well aware that Ingram hasn't scored a touchdown. He's due for a touchdown, and they're getting the Cincinnati Bengals defense, which is horrendous against tight ends. So it wouldn't surprise me at all this week if Ingram gets off the schneid in the touchdown column. So I would play Ingram over all 3 of them, or over the other 2. He would be the number 1 for me.
I like a very long story short. Ingram as the lad result. Much appreciated, submit. Thanks a lot. Next question, Recon XB. Recon, if you haven't subbed already, please submit. Much appreciated. We're trying to get 100. Just a small channel. Just ordinary lads. 12-man grinding away every week in the face of adversity.
Nobody likes us, nobody listens, but we keep going.
12-man PPR, 8th place, and then 5 or 7. Oh, he's 5 and 7.
Ooh, tricky spot.
Yep, tricky. He's got Fields and Stafford, Mixon, Jones, and Kamara. Wide receivers, he's got Jefferson, Puka Nacua, Nico, DJ, and Moore. Waller, likely Pitts and tight end. My trade deadline is next week. What moves can I make? Or, correctly spoken, what moves should I make?
Well, having a look at that, it does sound like he does need to make some moves.
Well, the first thing that stands out on me, right, is, and the last few weeks I've kind of been banging about like the run-ins, and this kind of got like, I don't know if this kind of got disproven last week, but then DJ Moore. So I didn't mind this little stack. I didn't mind this stack. We've got this stack. We've got this stack in our team.
We do have this stack in our team.
So I got excited about this stack, thinking we've got a good run in here. But last week didn't turn out as probably I thought it would. Do we have concerns about this stack, or are we sticking with this stack? We've got no choice.
I'm going to say we're stacked on this stack, aren't we? I don't think we're stuck on the stack, if I think correctly.
Yeah. But can you rule these 2 out? Can you put Fields in and DJ Moore?
I think you've got to roll with them. You've got this far. Let's say you've had that boom week. Let's say you've got excited. It's probably too late in the season to get away from both of them. Which one do you want? The kind of if one hits, the other hits anyway. I say stick with it and roll it. I think you're right, Baz. I think you've got to
I think you've got to put these two out the equation. You've got to put Fields and DJ Moore in as your stack and hope they fucking hit. I think.
And then just look at what else he can move. I think Puka's a good. I think he's got Nico Collins at the Texans is a good player to keep. I know Blandy's not a fan of Mixon or Kamara. So again, if you can move them two on, they're probably good options to move on. Probably more Mixon, I guess.
Or Aaron Jones.
Well, I mean, Aaron Jones. I'm not sure people would take Aaron Jones. I tried to move Aaron Jones on, and I couldn't get a packet of crisps for him. So,
yeah, yeah. You're like I think if your wide receivers and your quarterback, you're pretty set up. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think you need to really upgrade at a quarterback. It's running back. I think where you need to see if you can make some moves.
And Mixon's obviously one of your ones. Even if we're not particularly high on him, he's playing week in week out. So you've probably got to stay with him, haven't you? You probably need to look at moving on, trying to move Kamara or Jones on, I would say.
Yeah, it's tough because it looks like it's going to be a Kamara week this week for the Saints with them having no wide receivers. So I think Kamara's going to have a big week this week.
So if Recon's trade deadline's next week,
yeah,
could he have Kamara have a big week this week and then sell Kamara high?
Yeah, that would be the hope. That would be if he could do that, that would be something that I would do. And even if you have to chuck in Mixon or Jones as well, to try and get in that upper echelon of running backs, but without knowing what players might be available and what other temes need in your league,
it is. But I think we could only just sort of advise on which players we think can move on, and maybe are you looking to try and get one of the elite running backs? Because I'm not sure people are going to give them away too much now. You've probably got to look for someone we've got to look for someone who we think is a little bit underrated by the market as a whole.
So in the tight end spot, are you happy just to play Likely every week?
His usage last week was very good. I mean, he had the highest target share of all the Ravens receivers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Recon, we're going to get to this question as well. Blurpy, I see your question. Stephen, I see your question. Just hang about, and I'll get to him straight away. Don't worry, we'll answer them all live. We need to get
every question
sorted out first. We need to get Recon sorted out first. So hi guys, please read this. My league views Kamara as a top 5 RB. But who could I trade for?
Well, would you look at Kyren Williams for him? I know we've been hyping him up.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift, Kyren Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe I don't know. I'm trying to move Eckler in the league. I've got him, so I don't know if I could recommend you taking him.
So Kyren Williams, Gibbs. Who was the third one?
DeAndre Swift.
Swifty.
Yeah.
What about if you're trying to get rid of someone like an Aaron Jones? Do you think you can? Is there people you can sort of pinpoint further down the rankings you might want? I've always I think I said last week, I don't mind James Conner at the Cardinals again. I think he's someone you can maybe get for a lowish price if you want to move somebody on in that middle section.
Maybe Keaton Mitchell, someone who seems to be coming on strong. His utilization is it ticked up last week. James Conner, James Cook. Yeah. No.
Don't go for the Gus Bus.
No, he fell off the face of the earth last week. So if that's if that utilization holds, then Keaton Mitchell's well and truly past him.
He's the one.
So Recon's league is QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 1 flex.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we're saying is try and shift Kamara for Kieran Williams, DeAndre
Pollard,
Swift.
would you get a
Gibbs.
Pollard for him, Blandy? Where's he ranking nowadays? Because we think he's trending upwards, don't we?
If he can keep falling at the end zone, he'll be all right.
From a visual, his performance looks better over the last 2 to 3 weeks. I think. I feel like there's an upward trend there. So he's wide receiver 11 on the year. If you can get Kamara for Pollard, I think I'd be doing that.
Yeah,
If you get
possibly.
Mixon for Pollard, I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So Mixon for Pollard could be in the equation, I guess. But anyway, so if you had Kamara, and Kamara's thought highly of in your league, they all love him for whatever reason. Which one would you go for first? Would you go for Kieran Williams, Gibbs, Swift, or Pollard?
Kieran, Swift, Gibbs.
Okay. Barry, do you
I wouldn't disagree. I'd maybe have Pollard a little bit higher. I just got a nice feeling about Pollard going at this sort of business end of the season, and he might come on strong. He seems to be playing better, which should naturally equate to better fantasy points. So I think Kieran Williams, I've had in one of our leagues from the start. He's had, when he's been fit, some monster games. He's still 16 overall, despite having a good chunk out over a week on it, 4 weeks on IR. So I think I like him. Gibbs again is got that nice trend upwards, and he's looking good, and the Lions are scoring plenty and forcing a chase game at the moment. So yeah, I think all good options.
So I think the plan of action. I think the plan of action is get your trade offers out for. Well, Recon. Get your trade offer in there get Kamara trade offer in there for Kieran Williams then. And then, or Swifty, if it gets rejected, play Kamara this week. Play Kamara this week. Hopefully, he blows up this week, and then trade him next week for the bigger boys, is what I'd say. And in the meantime, try to get rid of Joe Mixon if you can for a Pollard. So, long story short, it's the running backs that you need to concentrate on. I'm just going to move on to Blurpy. Thanks for waiting, Blurpy. I appreciate it, mate. Taysom Hill or Ferguson? He's projected to lose by 14, so might go for ceiling play with Hill.
In general, just before you jump in, Bloody, in general, I don't worry too much about the projected points. I think they can be a little bit misleading. I wouldn't say that was a reason not to play Hill or to play Hill. I just think that's not necessarily gives me too much credence in my decision making. I prefer to just think who's got a good matchup, who's going to get me the most points.
Yeah, Recon, I've seen your question, mate. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, I would play Taysom. I think with it looking like Olave could well be out with a concussion, and the Saints have another wide receivers. We could see a lot of Taysom Hill this week in various packages. And I
can remember him taking a catch on the sideline this week, didn't he? Hill, sort of a bit of a contested catch grab, and he's obviously that Swiss Army knife, could do everything, can't he?
Yeah, he mossed someone. And they're playing the Lions, which the Lions defense is not very good at all, especially the pass defense.
Yeah.
So I would play Taysom this week. Yeah, for the.
He could line up in all sorts of spots. He could get some quarterback snaps. He could get some run plays. He could get some receptions. He's got not a lot of good players around him. So therefore, if let's say Olave is out, and if Carr's not playing well, injured, whatever else he's got going on, he's going to get lots of different pieces of action, isn't he?
Yeah.
Blurpy, first question. Answer is Taysom Hill. So next question, pick 4. Etienne, Pollard, Henry, Rashad White, or Zach Moss. Yeah, currently has the first 4 in. So he has Etienne, Pollard, Henry, and White in. Full PPR, 2 flex.
I think the first 3 are probably locked in, aren't they? Certainly the first 2.
First 3 it's a good matchup for Henry, like we spoke about earlier.
good matchup for Zach Moss with
Taylor's injury.
for Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, we know he's going to get the majority of the work. So this is a decent spot for him as well.
If you can't play Zach Moss this week, when can you play him? Is my question.
Yeah,
I'm going to switch Zach Moss for Rashad White, and I'd roll M4.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, possibly. I mean, the Panthers
Probably,
run defense.
possibly.
Well, it's just that the Bucks are playing the Panthers run defense, which is the worst in the league. But the Bucks aren't very good at running the ball. Yeah, it's a tough one.
My favorite.
I think I will play Rashad White over Zach Moss.
He's agreeing with you. He's agreeing with you, Blurby. He's agreeing with you.
Just based on matchup.
I don't know.
Do you want to jump to?
I just think if you couldn't have asked for anything more for Zach Moss this week. Everything's worked out right to play Zach Moss this week, and you've got him.
Yeah.
And you're not going to fucking play him. It's just like
get him in there for me. Me and you on the Zach Moss train. Blandy's on the Rashad White train.
Oh, so Blurpy was between Henry and Moss. So can we get the Derrick Henry and Moss thing out the window? Derrick Henry should be played above Moss.
Yes. Yeah. Yes,
agreed.
He should, yeah. This is good
Blurpy, you can't go against the King. Not only he's got good matchup, he's also got good gifts.
Yeah, and they're worth a lot in your WhatsApp groups, aren't they? You know that grief you can give people when the King rolls in and get the GIF out. That's worth a lot of money. That worth more money even.
White is just so good in PPR.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
What about Stephen Pereira? Do you have to jump to his question quick, Anthony? I think he's been on the line.
I don't know. Zach Moss is just.
He's got you there. He's pulling your heartstrings, Zach Moss, isn't he?
I'm not sure we can change your mind anyway, Blurpy. To be honest, to be fair, if you think White, it's probably 2 against 2. So toss a coin or go with your heart. Sometimes you just got to look inside and think, trust your gut, and go with that. We can honor off your advice in this format. Yeah, Stephen, if you're still there and you're haven't subbed already, please sub because we're going to answer your question right now.
Thanks for being patient.
Recon, I haven't forgot about you, Recon. So don't give me any shit in the comments. Half PPR need 3. Nico Collins, Zach Mosh, and Zach Mosh Pit. Zach Mosh Pit. Nico Collins, Zach Moss, Rashee Rice, or Devin Singletary. Needs 3 of them.
Collins, tick. Zach Moss, tick. I'm going to say probably Singletary tick just because
Barry doesn't like the Kansas City Chiefs.
You can't trust him, can you? You can't trust him. It's close. It probably is. Go down to where put Singletary's numbers on. Damian Pierce is back now, isn't he, Blandy? Are they back in a share now?
No, they're not. No,
they're
not in a
Singletary.
Share. No, it's Singletary's backfield. Yeah. Let me pull it up here last week. 2 seconds. So last week Singletary played 81% of the snaps, and Damian Pierce played 19%. Problem for Damian Pierce is that he's a stonewall 0 on any passing downs. So if they get behind or if they play 2 minute, anything where he might remotely have to think about catching the ball, he's not on the pitch. And then when he does get on the pitch, he's a very inefficient runner, so he's not offering them anything at all.
Which is strange, 'cause I thought he had a good season last season. He had a couple of good games I seen to watch him on, Pierce. It's just, he seems to have fallen off a little bit this year.
He did.
He hasn't kicked it. Rookies first year, a bit of promise. Think, next year you're going to see that sort of improvement, upward trend, and it doesn't seem to have worked out for him for whatever reason.
No, because his problem is his big calling card was that he can break tackles, but he's not fast. He can't get away from when he's breaking tackles. And this year he's not been breaking any tackles. So
yeah. Fair.
If breaking tackles is your only calling card, and you lose that, then you've lost your whole game really, which is what's happened to him.
Get used to being sat down, eh?
Yeah. But I would play the same as Baz: Collins, Moss, and Singletary.
Well, we've agreed on one. There's a first.
There you go. Yeah. There's the three: Moss, Collins, Singletary.
Bart's come back to us, hasn't he?
The Broncos. I was going to say the Broncos defense has improved.
I'm sure if you get your stats out, Blandy, it's been a tale of two halves for the Broncos defense, with the Broncos second half being pretty good.
Fucking hell! Right, so Recon's come back. I'm sorry for the wait, Recon, but we've got obviously other people asking questions as well. So if you remember back, we were saying we trade Kamara for Kieran Williams, yeah? But for whatever reason, Kamara's held in high regard in Recon's league, and he reckons he can get for 2-for-1 deal. I can get Kieran or whatever the fuck his name is, someone else for Kamara.
Just load him up.
Another thing, why do you guys not like Kamara?
He's brutally inefficient. He's just not very. He's brutally inefficient as a runner. He's not a lock for goal line work because they have Jamal Williams and Taysom Hill. Let me have a look.
He's just lost a bit of his spark as well, hasn't he? He was a spark sort of player, and he had some flashy games with 3-4 touchdowns. But yeah, he seems to have just lost that. Again, the whole offense is maybe not absolutely firing either. So there's lots of things that just don't sort of sit quite right. He had that run, didn't he? He was getting so many points because he was getting receptions for just so few yards as well. And our favourite phrase is unsustainable. It felt very unsustainable. So we feel like he's going to regress.
I can understand, and this is no offence to your league, Recon. In casual leagues, Kamara could be highly thought of because of his history. He's got that nice black visor on. He's flashy, and he's got that name about him. Do you know what I mean? So you can probably sell him high in these casual leagues, and maybe Recon's hit on the league where he can.
But again, ultimately, all we don't like him. He's ranked number 7. He's ranked number 7 running back on the year. So he's not a.
He's not a fucking bad player, is he? Come on.
And if you've been playing him, he's been racking your points up. You're not going to be. The whole phrase about the playing golf. There's no pictures on the scorecard. You just get the points in the bag and get the W's, isn't it?
Yeah. So he in his first 4 games back, he saw 39 targets. In his last 4 games, he's seen 22 targets. And in his last 3 games, he's been outside the wide receiver ones. He's running back 19, running back 16, running back 13. That's also coincided with the Saints pulling right back on his snap share as well. So 1, he's inefficient on the ground. 2, he's not playing so much. 3, his targets have regressed back to a more normal level. And 4, he's not a lock to see touches inside the 5-yard line. Because
all the stats are telling us that he's trending backwards.
Yes.
And this could be the thing this could be the piece of information that sort of makes a good trade and gets him into playoffs or gets him into that sort of better chance of winning, isn't it? These are the little bits of information that aren't particularly obvious.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a question from Bart. I think he's getting a little bit impatient of getting his question up.
Bart, Kamara was an idol of mine growing up.
Do you know what? I liked a bit of Kamara as well. Like I said, he had a few games, he had 4 touchdowns before, hasn't he? And he was a bit of a superstar, but I think he's just lost that spark, hasn't he?
Recon,
I
see your question again, Recon. Just stay tuned, mate. I'll get to him. If we're gonna have some live trade going on, you just stick with us. We'll answer. We'll answer other people's questions as well. Yeah, well, first live trade last week, and I don't know how that went actually because I can't remember. Well, let's get to Bart's question. Let's get to Bart's original question. Do I start DK Puka or Devontae Smith this week?
I'm gonna say I've been down a little bit on DK, so I'm gonna scratch him off. I'm gonna say again, I'm not sure what's necessarily going on with Puka. I know we've sort of said it's not a bad matchup against the Browns. And who have the Eagles got this week?
49ers.
They've got the 49ers. I'm gonna say I'm leaning towards Devontae Smith, but I've got a feeling that he had a good game last week, and AJ Brown didn't get as many. They seem to sort of chop and change and sort of follow. They don't sort of follow a pattern there. I'm going to go for Puka Nacua. Especially if Stafford's not going to be fully fit, that might give him some more looks.
I don't want anything to do with Devontae Smith against the Niners, I don't think.
No, do we not think
hands down easy?
I was going to say, I know, but I think Blandy's going to tell us the stats tell us Devontae Smith. I don't disagree. I think I was looking at Devontae, but I've got that sort of feeling that if AJ Brown has a down week, they seem to bounce back straight back to him, and Devontae Smith suffers the week after because they're feeding Brown. But I'm guessing you're going to tell me there's some good matchups on the second corner, and again, if they're not getting pressure, he gets out early. Smith's a good option.
No, just the season-long numbers. The outside wide receivers, the 49ers give up the 4th most points to outside wide receivers in the league. You can look at their defense in the last 6 weeks as well. The 49ers, hasn't played as good as people seem to think it has, especially the secondary. They're only middle of the pack defending the pass. And if anyone ever decides to run on the 49ers, which this Eagles team might well do, they will have success because I don't think this 49ers run defense is very good. Teams just decide not to run on them because they know the 49ers are going to put up points and they have to keep up.
They've got. I think again with the 49ers, they may be hard to sort of pin down, and maybe they visually look better than the stats suggest. They've got pressure from Bosa. You've got they make some good open field tackles, and they're sort of fierce tackling. But does that really equate to a good defense, or does it look a bit flashy? And it probably does look a bit flashy.
Yeah, I would have no problem whatsoever playing Devontae Smith here. No bother whatsoever.
So Bart saying Kamara was an idol of his growing up. Grew up in the same hood.
Was that Rockwood?
Rockwood.
Blazing Saddles.
Right, let me get. There's questions flooding in all over. Hang on 2 seconds. Let me get my Blurpy. Back to Blurpy. Blurpy, Jets or Rams D this week? Well, yeah, I'm not sure about the Rams D. Is something changed about the Rams D? Have they got a good matchup this week or something? Because the Rams D, when I've been watching this year, have been fucking shite. And Jets have been really good. But obviously, you'll tell me something different, Blandy.
The problem always seems to be with the Jets, D, is that they start off so well, they're on the pitch so much, they just slowly just disintegrate and they just can't sustain it, can they? They hang around for so long, but you can't do it for
just get
3/4 of a game. Yeah.
Just get demoralised for the offense being so shit.
That's it as well. They're going to be on the field for an awful long time as well, because the Falcons are just going to run the shit out the ball.
The only thing is that against the Falcons, Ridder's got a pick six in him.
He has, but the problem is, it might be a race to who scores the first touchdown wins the game against the Jets offense. So Ridder might not attempt more than 10 passes in the game. And the Rams have got the Browns this week, so they're either going to get. It looks like they're going to get Joe Flacco or PJ Walker, who definitely are live to throw a pick six.
Thanks for that, guys. I'll go with Smith this pump.
Cheers, Sheriff. Sheriff Bart. You never seen Blazing Saddles, Ant?
I was going to say,
I don't think so.
It's lost on me. If there's a pun or a joke in there, it's lost on me at the moment on this one.
Yeah, whoever's if this is a wind up, it's fucking fun. It's way over my head. Do you know what I mean? You should have gone.
Can't believe you've not seen Blazing Saddles. Brilliant film. Mel Brooks, most racist film of all time, but it's just completely racist against absolutely everyone. It's fucking brilliant, man.
I might watch it on the flight next week.
You watch it. It's got Jim Wilder's in it as well. Very good.
So we're going to go for the totally against what I was going to say. You're going to go for the Rams D?
I would play the Rams, yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by that. I might be tempted to take the chance that the Jets can get up early and go with the Jets D.
I just for the sake of a defense, I just go with the Jets. I think just hope they get a pick six. They've got the cornerbacks to do it.
They have.
Yeah, I don't think the cornerbacks might not see a lot of action. Though. I think that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back to Recon's live trade. Recon, I'm not sure if you're still there watching, listening, or whatever.
We love a live trade, though.
We do love a live trade, yeah. This guy who's interested in Kamara has King Henry. The guy has King Henry, Breece Hall, AJ Brown, Mike Evans, Schultz, Kieran Williams, Scary Terry, Tyler Lockett. If I ask for Kieran, who else is a reasonable ask for Kamara? Well, one.
AJ Brown.
Well, yeah. One. We're saying Kyron Williams straight swap is a reasonable ask. So,
yeah.
Hang on 2 seconds. Just let me scroll up to see what Recon's team was.
Well, obviously you might as well take the two and try and weaken him.
Right. So that's Recon's team there. You see it on the screen there.
Yeah.
Have we got any interest in Dalton Schultz, Blandy? Are we sort of saying he's got a decent enough floor these days that is worth taking on rather than having likely or Pitts? I think neither really want to be trusting Pitts these days, do we? Do we want likely? Is Schultz an upgrade on likely?
Schultz, I don't know why, but Schultz last week, all the way down at 48% of the snaps last week, 6% target share. But for he just seemed to split the role with Brevin Jordan, who came back. Brevin Jordan ended up playing 41% of the snaps last week. who's another receiving back. So I don't know if there's something the matter with Schultz. There was nothing reported in game. They just, for whatever reason, they just decided to pull right back on him. So likely he's going to be a full-time player running out there, running all the routes. So I would say likely is probably a more reliable tight end than Schultz. So I don't know. I mean, if you can give up, let's say Kamara, give up Kamara and Nico maybe for Kyren and what were the running backs on offer? Hall, Derrick Henry,
King Henry, Breece Hall. Yeah, King Henry, Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Wide receivers: AJ Brown, Mike Evans. He's
Like,
got
yeah,
Terry McLaurin. He's got Terry McLaurin and Tyler Lockett.
So you want nothing to do with McLaurin? No. I mean, even if you do, say you do Kamara and Nico for Kyren and Mike Evans, you're getting a 2 for 2. You get the 2 for 2, and I would say you're getting the better two players in the deal. But if they value Kamara that high, then you can use some of that to say, okay, well, you have a bit of a lesser receiver in Nico, but give me Mike Evans to kind of make up for it, where I think Mike Evans is probably the better receiver rest of the season over Nico Collins. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled to be giving up Nico Williams, even if I think Mike Williams is slightly better. I don't know. There's something I like about this Texans offense and the volume that's going through it. So I'm probably keeping him if I can.
Fair enough.
I'd maybe just take a flyer on someone like Tyler Lockett and think, yeah, he's a steady enough floor type player, and if DK doesn't do it, then there's a bit more upside to him. I know I've got Jackson Smith and Jigba sort of coming on the scene a bit more now, and maybe that might just eat a little bit to Lockett, but I think I still, you might as well take a player off this guy and take someone who's got something there for him.
I think if you can get anyone but Schultz and Terry McLaurin, then just take his fucking hand off. Basically, if you can get, you're not gonna get AJ Brown, you're not gonna get Breece Hall, you're not gonna get King Henry.
You might get Breece Hall. I don't know if you want him.
Right.
Yeah.
But you might get him.
So you're not like so the Jets aren't out of the equation for the playoffs, are they?
No, they're not. No.
I would say we had this discussion this afternoon. It feels like they are, but obviously the numbers say they're not. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening. The numbers might say it's possible and whatever else. I just can't see it, and I'm still very skeptical about Aaron Rodgers at 39 years old coming back really quickly off an Achilles injury and doing well.
Barry, get your mitts around this, pal.
Practice today.
Your mitts around this, son. There you go. Back in practice today.
Has he gone through some sort of?
It's all this voodoo stuff he does and that, and fucking going in.
Well, I was going to say, has he gone through some sort of new age, some high science experimental recovery plan or something, injecting white blood cells or all them sort of things? It just doesn't seem. It just. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
He had the same procedure as what Cam Akers had when he did his Achilles, and obviously Akers was able to come back in 6 months, but it's a lot different for a running back. Having to put a lot more strain on physical shit. I get that. Than a quarterback. So no, it was. It's a new kind of operation, as opposed to what it used to be when players would be out for 18 months kind of thing with it. So I can certainly believe it, because obviously he was never particularly mobile anyway.
No,
and
he's not going to start. He's not going to start sprinting down the field, is he?
Yeah, exactly.
But you still got to be able to scramble around that pocket, that tackle box, haven't you? So even if you're only going around in a 5-yard diameter circle, you still got to backpedal. You still got to push off and turn. Something's not stacking up for me. I'm not having it.
Yeah.
So
the plot thickens.
Yeah. The plot thickens. I don't know. So if you're getting rid of Kamara around you, you're gonna. Let's just first things first. We're trading Kieran Williams for Kamara. Are you shotting Tyler Lockett on there? Why don't you just put the trade in? Put Kamara, Mike Evans, and Kyron Williams. See if he takes it. Then go from there, I reckon. Because even if you Kamara for Kieran Williams is just a straight trade anyway. So whatever you can get on top of that, it's fair dues.
It's all gravy, isn't it? It's all gravy.
All gravy. Right. 2 seconds. Blurpy, Better Blurpy. Thank you for staying with us, Blurpy. Do you think Dobbs is a good option this week? He plays the Raiders. I can pick him off waivers tomorrow. Other options are horrible. I have Kyler, who's on bye next week.
So he needs somebody to get him out of a hole in a week's time, and he's looking at Dobbs.
Well,
so we've been quite low on at the start of the show, haven't we?
Well, Dobbs is on bye this week. Is he not?
Yeah, well, I think we're saying should he pick up this week for next week?
Oh, sorry. Well, I won't pick him up next week because he might not be the quarterback of the Vikings for next week.
So
Kevin O'Connell said,
what?
Yeah.
We went through at the start, didn't we, saying that the coach's speak was not good in the slightest. So therefore, he's got to look at Blurpy. You've got to look at what are those horrible options and think, what can I stomach? What can I stomach that might get me 15 to 20 points at quarterback?
Yeah. So Blurpy, if you can tell. Oh, hang on. Car and Gino are the other two.
I think you probably have to take it. Who's Gino got next week? You've probably got to take a swing at that, haven't you?
49ers, off the top of my head.
Yeah, but they seem to have spiky games against the 49ers, don't they? They can have a bit of a ding-dong.
Yeah, it was... Yeah.
8.3 against them last time.
Yeah, but that's when
I've got the 49ers.
He got injured against the Rams, didn't he? And then he didn't practice all week and played the 49ers, and they got absolutely on a short week, got railroaded. But again, the return games in Levi, so it's not ideal. I mean, pick up Josh Dobbs if you can pick him up for nothing, stash him, see what happens. If they name him the starting quarterback coming out of the bye week with Justin Jefferson back, then yeah,
there's some upside.
If they say he's not the starting quarterback, then you can just drop him and reassess your options again.
Yeah. Right. So I'm just gonna skip to Bart's question. The recon drama continues. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that and we'll get it ironed out. We might as well. QB, we've got a George play after this. Recon, stay tuned, mate. We'll get to it. QB, do I go Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy for me against Philadelphia.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that one.
I wouldn't either.
I don't mind Kyler. I think he's probably trending upwards as he gets a bit fitter, a bit sharper. But I think Brock Purdy's not a bad shout this week.
He's just got so many
Yeah.
weapons, and he's just got so many weapons.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to utilize the passing game, aren't they?
Yeah, the Eagles' defense is horrible against the passer. You know.
And potential for a high scoring game like some of the Eagles games have been lately, of back and forth, up and down the pitch, and which forcing Brock to keep up and keep them points rolling in for you.
Yeah.
Ayuk is another level, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Excellent player.
Recon again. I'm going to get back to you, mate. George Play. George, if you haven't subscribed already, if you could sub, it'd be much appreciated. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers this season. We'll be back next season. We don't care who watches, but a sub would be appreciated. Thank you very much. Hi, guys. Already in the playoffs. I have Tura as QB1. I have Fields on the bench, but I don't trust him. Worried about Miami's schedule for the playoffs. Rightly so. Should I pick up Rodgers?
For me, I would roll with Tua and Fields. I'm not sure Rodgers is going to outscore those two players. As much as we're probably all a bit worried about Fields, we've just said before, he's got a good upside. He's got a good ceiling. You've just got to take the rough with the smooth and go with it, and stop putting that video. Can I see a timestamp? Can I see a timestamp on that video, please? That could have been from the bloody Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, sir. just hang on. I'll shift that about. That's from the official NFL account, so it seems like a verified source.
2021.
It's not from Visregard or whatever it's what we call.
Other dodgy news channels are available.
Yeah.
Not for me. I'm certainly not. I think you've got to put some trust in Tua. Yes, he's somewhat flopping at the highest stakes games, but if Fields is your second choice, I think you've got to hope that one of those two can have a good game or have a good matchup for you.
Yeah,
because you're playing Tua against all the dross and all the mediocres, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes, you are. Yeah. Absolutely not picking up Aaron Rodgers. No chance.
Take the video down.
Also, I have CMC. Should I drop Charbonnet and pick up Elijah Mitchell as a handcuff?
I'm not sure I like that play.
No.
I'm not liking dropping a player who's a lead back for someone for a handcuff. I don't think that feels a smart move.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But I get the concern. You're thinking like,
yeah.
But even if CMC goes down, Elijah Mitchell is he that good a handcuff?
He's going to get the work or some of the work. He's not going to score the points as CMC does, is he? But I think there's been lots of questions about who's the one, who's the two, who's the three, hasn't there? And he's definitely the two. But
he's probably going to score similar points to Charbonnet anyway.
Exactly. Stormy Thunder. You know what's the running back two worth? What's the backup or the two? Is it worth the same as Charbonnet? Probably about the same. Yeah. And I think Charbonnet looks like there's some potential there, and I think he, when he does have some easier matchups than what he's got next couple of weeks, there's potential for him to sort of hit his straps.
Yeah, there is. Just going back to his original point, so if he's in the playoffs already, I presume he's going to have a bye in week 15 when Justin Fields plays Cleveland Browns, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Then in week 16, the Bears get Arizona. In week 17, they get the Falcons. Neither of those teams can get pressure. So Justin Fields won't be taking sacks as he usually does. And they're cupcake matchups for him. So no hesitation whatsoever keeping Fields for week 16 and week 17 and plugging him in there. No bother at all.
Good point.
So the recon saga continues. So funnily enough, Nico Collins is thought highly of in his league.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think me and Barry are pretty. Nico Collins is. I agree with you, Barry. Nico Collins and Tank Dell and Stroud, and you just kind of like it's a nice vibe, isn't it? There at the minute.
Yeah, I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up. I want to ride that train, and even if it's a train that gets derailed, I'm going to have some fun riding it.
Yeah, so he's saying that if he shot Nico Collins in the trade, it's kind of like a 3 for 2 at that point.
Like I say, I think unless he wants to do Kamara and Collins and try and grab AJ Brown and Kyron Williams and make it like if them two are valued high, then maybe you might get that 2 for 2, and that's you feels like you're creating both. I don't know. I wouldn't be looking to move personally to say, well, I'll give up Collins and I'll get 2 of Lockett, McLaurin, or Schultz because I don't think they've got too much value. Maybe
No.
Mike Evans is the other one. Mike
I
Evans
agree.
is, but I think I'm happy with him.
I think Mike Evans is probably a top 10 wide receiver rest of the season, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I like I would do that. I would offer Kyron and AJ Brown for Nico Collins and Alvin Kamara, and if it takes that, you've absolutely
Had his pants down.
Yeah, I was going to say something else, and I stopped myself. But yes,
It's a family show.
Yeah, had his pants down will be another way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, that keep the Fields and Moore stack. Yeah, definitely keep the Fields and Moore stack. Question from Quinn Lonardi. Quinn, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. We're trying to get 100. It'd be much appreciated if you subscribe. Thank you. Team is Herbert, CMC, Etienne, Keenan Allen, Ayuk, Ridley. Sorry, I was getting a bit lost with this. What's that? Pitts and Taysom Hill with A-Chain off the bench. What are we thinking of trading Etienne, Ayuk, and Ridley for CD Lamb, Zay Flowers, and Mixon?
I think just looking at or reading Quinn's team there, he's got a belting team, and I think I'm holding my nerve, I'm holding my cards, and I want to go at the end and see who's got the best hand because I think I've got the best hand, and I think CMC, Etienne, Keenan Allen, Ayuk. Yeah, Ridley's a bit up and down, but if he's effectively one of your fifth best option there, then I'm happy with that. And you've got A-Chan potentially coming back fit, so I don't want to be letting them go. I don't want to be getting rid of Etienne or Ayuk.
No.
Like I say, I like CD Lamb. I mean, who doesn't? He's a great player, but I don't want to be giving any of my studs up to get him.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
So I think
don't want Joe Mixon. Yeah. Definitely don't want Joe Mixon. So.
Yeah, I think we say it a lot of the weeks. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing.
Yeah, that could be I think that could be our catchphrase. That Ant. Can you get that T-shirt printed?
Yeah, you need to get a T-shirt.
We're here to give you a show of advice, and the best thing to do is nothing. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Please like, share, and subscribe. No, but I think it's right. I think you're getting this time of season, you're kind of thinking, I need to get an edge. I need to get like something that I might win me, and then win me the whole thing. And sometimes you might already have it, and you don't want to be. You don't. One thing you do not want me doing is trade Ayuk away.
I would imagine there'd be no worse feeling than thinking I had a good team. I made a trade because I was taking a roll dice looking for the edge, and it didn't pay off. And the players I traded away won somebody else's league. That would be a worse feeling than thinking I'll hold my horses and I get beat by a better team.
Yeah, well, how many times has it happened in our leagues where there's lads who have had a mint team and they've just traded too much, or they've wavered too much, or they've kind of started off with a brilliant team, or they've getting to the playoffs with a brilliant team, and somehow they've traded them away.
Hi, Hammer.
I think the Kamara one.
Yeah,
The Kamara one's a classic example, though, isn't it? So face value, the numbers look good. But when we delve into numbers, we're saying there's a downward trend of decline that's happening over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and this is the point to get off the horse. So players like that, when the stats are telling you in a deep dive that you want to get rid, then you make the trades. I can't see that in the likes of ETN and Ayuk. So for me, you don't trade.
yeah, that's fair enough. So questions have died down, views have died down. Can we get on?
Everything's dying a death. We haven't bigged ourselves up yet, have we? That's normally the first thing we do when we come on and say, how well did we do in our own FFOP league?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
week 12 last week.
If there's only us listening, we might as well talk to ourselves about ourselves. Why
not? So we absolutely smashed Steve Wake last week.
The Sam Allardyce. The Sam Allardyce of the FFOP league. He'll be back down, drink these pints of wine, drown his sorrows.
To be fair with me, at least he put a starting lineup in this week. He put a team in this week. But yeah, we knew it was a good matchup anyway, and we knew we were going to.
Did we get close to top scoring for the week as well? It's always nice to. Don't think our report's been out yet, has it? But we got a good score, didn't we? Did Hanley beat us?
Oh, Hammer back on top. Oh, he can't have been.
I think that's the week before that. I don't.
Oh, yeah, because it's normally a Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
No, this is it.
So yeah, so Hanley on 163. Oh, so Hammer must have put he must not have left any points on the bench.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, 100% lineup.
Yeah. But in terms of we're right into the playoff contention now.
Oh,
7
yes.
and 5. AJ start to struggle.
Is he dropping?
And this week we've got Maverick. So we've got Fields on bye, which is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we've got DJ Moore on bye.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because we like that stack. So who are we thinking to go for in quarterback position?
We'll pull him up, see who's available, shall we?
Let's
I would
pull
say
him
we've
up.
had this discussion, and I can't remember the answer, if I'm honest.
So we've got Geno Smith, who we had earlier in the season, which we let go.
Yeah.
Stafford. And that's about it.
Gardner Minshew.
There's Gardner
Minshew
Minshew there. There's Gardner Minshew there. Yeah.
That would be the one who I would play. I would play Minshew.
Minshew?
Yeah. Because for the most important thing, which is the gifts, isn't it? Obviously.
Yeah. He's up there with the gifts, isn't he?
He is. But also this Titans defense, and especially the Titans pass defense is not very good at all. So
it's a good spot for him, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a decent pass rush. But if the Colts iffy pass blocking unit can give him a bit of time, then he should be able to have some success through the air against this Titans defense. So that's who I think we should pick up at.
And we also had a little bit of discussion with do we want to nab a defense, didn't we?
Yeah.
So who are we dropping for Gardner Minshew?
D'Ernest
Johnson. Yeah.
D'Ernest, yeah. We'll pick him back up next week.
And then we're talking about defense.
Yeah.
So currently we've got the Saints.
Saints.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of decent injuries on defense as well, haven't I? It was one of the sort of star players who I can't remember the name of again now. Has he gone out off injured? Is it Lattimore? Has he got himself injured?
There's Lattimore gone, has he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
I think so. So who did we say was a pickup? Did we say the Jets?
Well, you like the Jets. I like the Rams this week against the Browns.
I'm going to say go for the Jets because Aaron Rodgers is back and the Jets are going to playoffs. Let's get on the train.
I like it.
But in reality is if he does get back on the field, it's going to be a bit of an uptick. He might keep some drives going. He likes a long, slow drive. It might get the defense off the field and then keep the gas so that they can perform to that elite level that we know they are. So I think there's just a little bit of sneaky upside in the longer term with the Jets. If this all Aaron Rodgers charade is going to turn, is he going to pull a rabbit out of the hat and pull off the great escape?
Yeah, imagine if he comes back and wins the Super Bowl.
Oh, I wasn't making it. I was saying just get the playoffs. I wasn't saying win the Super Bowl.
There'll be movies about it. There'll be movies about it.
If he comes back and wins a few games and makes a playoff, then he'll be absolutely he'll have absolutely justified everything about himself, won't he? Because at the moment it just feels like
Bandy's sat there as a realist.
It feels like they're just going nowhere, doesn't it? The Jets are just having a slow, painful death by 1,000 cuts by 1,000 bad quarterback plays.
I think put the Jets in. I think they might get a pick six.
Is that what we're going for? Is it?
Yeah, well, we're overruling your Rams, your nonsense.
No, it's. I mean, it's only for this week anyway. We're not playing them the 2 weeks afterwards, are we?
No.
We'll see. Aaron Rodgers back. See how it goes.
Well, so yeah, we've got that running back it's starting to look a bit juicy now.
I think it's just starting. Something's going to come and trip us up, but it's just starting to say we've hung around for long enough, been middle of the pack, and all of a sudden, a lot of our players are sort of hitting form. If that Fields Moore stack goes off or continues, then we're in with it. We're in with a live shout in the playoffs.
So here's a question for you, Warren. To go in the flex instead of Deontay Johnson and Deontay Smith.
Yeah, I've just made that change.
Yeah, I wondered why I thought it fucking changed. I was thinking it.
There's a magic for you. Telepathic apps for picking your team. You think it does it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
Brilliant.
We're set for the week, yeah?
Yeah. I was thinking, what the fuck have I just mentioned that? Just done like fucking telekinesis. I've just done.
Who are we up against this week, did we say?
Maverick.
Maverick.
Come in for you, Maverick.
Come on the show, Maverick, and you can gloat when you beat us.
Maverick picked up Moss, didn't he? He was
I'll put the timestamp in for him.
Yeah, he
that's his finger.
Zach Moss was on he was on waivers, wasn't he? So he got him $31.
Proving a nice pickup then, eh?
Yeah.
See, I like this format with shallow benches. I think it means you have to stay active in the waivers and know who's going and make some tough decisions of which player to drop. You can't just hoard players that may have an upside or not. You can't keep all the handcuffs for too long. I like this format.
Yeah,
definitely. I agree. All this IR shit and that. So we're on 1 hour and 54 minutes, boys. We've got one viewer.
Yeah.
We've got no questions coming in.
I think that's a wrap.
We'll call it, Anthony. I'm going to go.
We'll call it a wrap.
Walk over the shopping centre over the road, go to Outback Steakhouse for some food and call it a
night. Stroll on a Copacabana, have a Capriana. What a life.
Easy money.
Living the dream, isn't he? Eh?
Isn't he?
Any chance you can get the Starlink up and running for next week?
For next week, no. It'll be a push for next season. Never mind next week.
Fucking hell. We might have to fucking start chipping in. Just do it as
Do it ourselves.
we'll have to get I'll get in touch with you and see if we can get sponsored.
Get a GoFundMe on the bottom, man. Run across. Keep Westbrook Akine on the show. Donate here.
DD Vestbook.
Right, cheers, lads. Thank you all for watching. If you happen to stumble across this after it's been recorded, if you could subscribe, please. Let's get that 100. We've actually got up to 93 subscribers now, boys, after tonight.
Excellent. Very good.
We're rolling.
So I think we've got 4. We lost 1, and we've got 4 new ones tonight. So all that.
Lost 1?
Yeah,
that must be Blandy's best photo.
It might have been my mum.
You might have listened to a different podcast now. Better crack.
We've still got 1 viewer there, so whoever that viewer is, thank you for sticking through to the very end. It's much appreciated.
Some stamina.
Some stamina, yeah. Probably just looking at Blandy's guns. I don't know. But anyway, thank you. Peace out.
190. Ciao.
See you later. Oh, do I get the outro?
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's get the outro going. There we go. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy. There we go. Let's see you later. Bye-bye.